Hi, everybody. I know that your first blog post is due today, and a number of you are feeling a little nervous about that. I wanted to show you, I could keep fussing with this all day long, but I wanted to show you that I've completed my blog post. I'm going to show you what I did in it, and then I'm going to show you how to submit your blog post to Canvas. So first of all, I would like to point out that I wrote 1,200 words. So I wrote about 3 times as many words as I've asked you to do. This is why I'm an English teacher. So basically, I wrote 1,200 words. That's what you're going to do for your final essay in this module. And anything that you write in your blog, if it works and you are able to move it into an essay, that's great. You could repurpose it. Okay, so in this first piece right here, I am all of that. I'm going to highlight this for just a moment. Let's go yellow. Okay, all of that is basically an introduction to my piece, and I would say that I am using a narrative style of writing here, okay? And then I have a little bit of background, a little bit of context about, all right, I don't know why that's not that black, that green. Okay, that's context, just kind of I'm transitioning out of my introduction and I'm moving into my analysis. And then you'll see here, I have what works for me as a thesis statement. I'm going to make it be blue. The Always Like a Girl campaign effectively communicates the message that today the phrase like a girl means strength and confidence. And then I move into analysis. Here you see me, all right, we'll leave that there. Let's do another color. Let's do purple. The audience of this ad, right there. Okay, I'm going to highlight some of the pieces that will indicate to you what that analysis paragraph is about. So the audience of this ad is. Why is this so challenging? Okay, so there's a paragraph where I talk a little bit about the audience. One choice the director of this ad made was to allow it to feel raw and unscripted. Okay, so this is talking about a choice, and that choice was that it doesn't feel like a scripted piece. The action is similarly loose and informal, so I'm continuing to talk about things that happen in the ad that I think make it, makes it effective. And I use the word ethos here. We haven't talked about that in class yet, but ethos means the credibility of the piece. The ad effectively employs pathos as the action unfolds. So pathos is emotion. Okay, so you can see I have paragraphs where I'm analyzing different things about the ad, with a little bit of a summary as well. So this is going into summary. I slip back into a little bit of what I would call narrative down here. It is at this point in the ad where I feel emotions well up inside me every time. Okay. I have an analysis of their use of words, like actual text on the screen, and how I find that to be effective in getting the message across. I talk about more emotional appeals and how that comes through the interview process of the people. Let's see, the ad closes with the words, "Let's make like a girl mean amazing things." And then I move into talking about the next day the internet was flooded with articles about this groundbreaking ad. And I've integrated a quote. You'll see that in the requirements for your blog, I ask that you integrate a quote because that's something that we're going to practice in English 101. So let me highlight that in blue. How about that? Jillian Berman with the Huffington Post wrote, "An ad for pads stole the show during the Super Bowl," and then she goes on. Okay. And then I have a little bit of a conclusion. The hashtag then took off, helping this campaign to leap from the television and into the lives of real girls and the mothers, fathers, aunts and uncles, and grandparents who love them. The Always company surely hoped that this ad would positively impact their sales, but they also made real progress in redefining the phrase like a girl in the American vernacular. And then here I added one last photo, and this is a picture of my daughter rocking some awesome rainbow leg warmers and a crossbow, and our cat happily playing along. So I'm going to update this. I'm going to leave the highlights for you. Okay, it's updating, it's saving. Come back to that. Posts. Okay, let's do a little preview. This is what you're going to see when I send you out my address in just a moment. Okay, so here's what you see. It's long. It's longer than I expect yours to be, but I have images. I have a video, which won't play in the preview. I learned in the last ad. And I'm pretty happy with it. I could continue to tinker with it, with how I'm wording things in the analysis, and I can make my connections more clear. But at this point, I need to cut the cord and just get it to you. So let's talk about how you're going to submit it. Do you see this here? Permalink. Click that. And now I've got this permalink. Let's make sure I've got it. Okay. So I've got that. Now I'm going to come over here to, this is our class, and I have it in Student View. There are many ways to get to this assignment from Canvas, but here's what I'm going to do. This says Blog Post 1, Analysis of a Visual Text, due at midnight tonight. I'm going to click that. And there's lots, I've written lots here, as you've noticed, I'm sure, talking to you all about the theme, the pre-writing, what I'm looking for in it, steps to publish the blog, and then I have these questions. Okay, so let's go over what I'm gonna write for these questions. How do you appeal to your audience? Well, I'm going to answer that question by saying I appeal to my audience by using images and videos, and I feel that I really kept an informal and an engaging tone. I strived to not be dry. I used a picture of my own family from my own life. What patterns of development did I use? I open with narrative. I'm talking about my own experience with the Like a Girl campaign, and then I move into analysis. So that's my answer there. D, what method did you use to integrate source material? I had a lead-in and I had 2 quotations. Works for me. And what sentence patterns did you use? I am absolutely certain that I used all of them, and I'm certain that I used dashes, M dashes, at least twice. Okay, so let's submit. That's my permalink, and I have copied it and I've put it there. Do you remember when I copied that permalink? And now in the comments, I'm going to answer those questions. A. What did you write about, and who is your intended audience? Cap lock. I wrote about ad that feels like a PSA. My audience is other when I'm talking about a word as a word, I'm going to put it in quotation marks. B, how do you appeal to your audience? Let's say my informal tone and even slang, as well as my use of images, video, and a photo of my own child. let's see. What patterns did I use? I used narrative and analysis. See that I edit along the way. D, what method did you use to integrate source material? I used a lead-in. And actually, I'm going to be specific. You'll learn about this. I used a formal lead-in, which means I gave the author's name and the title of the piece in my lead-in, and I used quotations. Lastly, E, what sentence patterns did I use? I could say all sentence patterns, but you know what? I'm just going to tell my grader to look for compound, complex, because that's the trickiest, and I know it's there, and M dashes. Okay, I've answered all of my questions, and now I'm going to hit submit. Turned in, hooray, hooray. Now, if you're interested in seeing this, last but not least, I'm going to leave student view, and I'm going to go to my home page. I'm going to show you something interesting. Okay, it says that I have 12 blogs to grade. I'm going to pause it. Okay, so I've taken you to the test student. This is what I see as your grader. I'm not quite sure why mine didn't show. I should see my blog right here, but I've got to load it in a new tab. So I've got to do a little bit of research about why my copying and pasting didn't take it there. But you could see right here all of my comments, so I'm going to look for that. Here's where I, as a grader, would write back. And let's go view in a new tab. And this is what I'll see. So here's my blog post. I just added those highlights for you guys. I'm going to leave those there. So yeah, looks good to me. I hope that this has been helpful for you, and I'm looking forward to seeing all of your blog posts. If you're struggling with it, go ahead and email me today and ask me for a little bit of help, and I'm sure I could help, or just take the plunge and go ahead and just get it submitted, and we can work with it afterwards. This is your first of 8 blog posts. You're going to be a pro by the end, okay? And I will see you all in class.